guys, so my plan is to do on my YouTube, because you know when you build something you like to Skype, right? You like to Skype. So I'm just going to do testimonial uploads on my build, if anyone's interested. Hey, you might be interested in dogs, you might be interested in building, but hopefully my viewers are mostly interested in God. Hey, right, here we go. I'll give you a peek. So that's out the window, yellow, for those that are here for the dogs. It's like a frame, isn't it, of the view. That's out the window. This is a day's work for two people. Well, it's from 10 o'clock until 11 o'clock at night, and then I come home and I covered all my wood, which took me another 2.5 hours, and I was in bed at 6 in the morning. Okay, so as you know, I've already made the step. Use the caravan. That is underlay wrapped in plastic against the caravan, which you may have already seen. That beam's just floating on concrete, it's not supported. Same with that one. Joins that haven't been tweaked yet. The paper was mistakenly put underneath. Only mistake. Well, there might be more as I go through. This is the door. Oh yeah, okay, there is more mistakes. I'm going to take the paint off that. Quite a gap there, you'll see, between the lintel and the door. Could call that a mistake, but it doesn't really matter, because actually I'm going to put a bit of a, right, door sticks, not a problem. I'm going to buy a new handle with a lock. I still need to get in here and just seal that. It's the only bit I have to seal that. Thinking about putting, I've already bought the flower pots under here, one of those big beams. It's actually not that square, that crooked line is square, because my caravan just went in the way it went in. And from there up will be my wall. I'm going to put a beam here and put flower pots under here, and this is just going to hold my polystyrene and everything tight. That is a plug for power, which I'll get an extension cord through, and I put a already bought a power box, so that's minimum power before my solar goes in. I've got a separate solar that I'll put on that roof that has an aluminium lever thing so that I can tilt it to the sun in the winter. It's equivalent to probably half of what I've got, but it has its own battery. It's a separate system. So let's pretend we're going through the door, shall we? Ooh. So, door fits, not a mistake, good. See, door fits. Now the only problem is I didn't know how much that door would tilt when it went in. I allowed too much, so I've got to take about 10 mils off. This is supposed to be the floor level, but I just have to take 10 mil down, so like that, and then put my Remu boards on that, and then that will level up with my door. And I have a metal wind doorstop. I just want to make sure that's going to fit above the Remu, and then so once I've got that, I'll know my level for my floor. I'm going to use fence posts on the ground here as support beams for my floor, and I've ended up using my floor joists up there for the exposed beams. But this one here, I don't know if you can see that joint, it's not too ugly, but hard to get over here. It's my dog house. Well, it's going to be beautiful. That's going to have a beautiful floor. And this is going to be all... So from here back, that beam back, is going to be all wooden rustic. And that will sort of separate the idea of the porch. And then I'm going to be jibbing those two. And I'm going to use rondo battens, which is... Now these brackets, I got a massive box for 20 bucks. That is real strong. They're going to go in every corner up the top, internal corners. It's going to be, so it's more earthquake proof. And then I'll be putting... Yellow, come back here please. Don't you run away. Come on back here. Come on. Inside. Come on. If I could just get him inside, I could relax, because yesterday I lost him for 3 hours. Just stood there by a hole barking. Come on. Watch him come. Watch him come. Oh, here he is. Oh, that's a surprise. Right. 1, 2. I'm not even going to break Michael's up. 3. Do I count 3? 2 more. 4, 5. Take it slow, Michael. I'll give you an extra one, Yellow, since you don't get to run away. Right, shut the door. So, from this corner here to here is actually going to be an internal wall. On the other side of that wall is a sort of king size bed, pull out couch, futon couch, which I have over there. So basically between here and that peg, I need 2 meters for a big window, 2 meters for a window to look at the Alps. And then I'm going to build my wall into here, back wall for the bunk room, take it across and straighten that wall. And as I said, I'm going to put bottom bunks, I'm digging it down, bottom bunk, 2 bottom bunks, and then a mezzanine floor there. And my window for that one is over there. Oops, can't zoom on it. So I'm going to have a big window at the end that you'll see from the bed. So you're in the bed, you can look this direction from the bed. Then on that wall there by that timber, I'm going to have another window which will be really high up, but you'll see it from the bed where the ladder is. And that's here, right? It comes out of the building. They're called Duva windows. What are they called? I forget. So they're my 4 standard windows. Now I'm actually going to not use one of those windows now, because none of them open, because I got given a massive timber window. So I'll show you where that one goes. So remember, we've got a window here, big window here, and that's where the bed is. And if I have curtains along here, and when I between here and that wall, I could have another curtain, so you could have a bed with curtains on both sides and make it a wee private bedroom or open plan. Now this area here, I'm going to expose all those beams to here, and I'm building out here. It's going to be a door and just a tiny deck that hangs over here, made out of fence posts, I treated. And I'm going to try and put a bit of a cover roof on it. It's still going to be somewhere you don't want to be when it's bad weather. So from here down, see that peg that's there? So my floor level is about... My floor level is going to be about where that nail is, right? Off the ground, quite high. And then I want to step down and make the other floor level for the rest of the house about this low. Because if you see that beam that's coming down at an angle is getting lower and lower, and it will, and I'll see where it is, because it's 3 meters from here to that post out. So it'll drop quite low, but as long as at that end it's at least 2 meters high, so I can put one of those big 2 by 2 meter windows right on the end. And there's my fireplace goes over there. Composting toilet. And then I've got the end of the bunk room, which I'm going to have a bath in. But I'll cover it, the bath. So it's actually a bed as well. So that's 3 bunks and 1 double in that bunk room. And I'm going to put a sink in there. On the other side, in the puppy room, where that blue tarp is, I'm extending out. So I'm going to reclaim that ground, extend out. There'll be a fireplace there that'll go just past the caravan, which if I show you in my slippers. So I'll go just past the caravan and there'll be a sink there and a window at the ground with a dog door, and this doggy cage will go there on that ground there, so the dogs can go out and sit in the doggy cage there, puppies. That whole room will be theirs. Now if you see my caravan window at that level, like I said, I've got a platform to put a painted, already painted it, dog bed. That's big enough for a small child, but that's where Glory and Fire can have their pups. And then in this corner, in that corner to the left, so that this little space between the tarpaulin and that post is where the stairway comes down. It stops halfway by that yellow DeWalt thing, and then it goes across in a wee platform, then it goes down again. Lovely. Curtains and blinds in there. Here's my door. My door actually has a window. So it's a wee Remo door, tiny one for window, and it will open this way. I'm putting that in there. So on this wall, we're going to have 2 doors, one there, and I'll take that out, and the other door goes there and it opens that way. Right, my jug's boiling. This is taking a wee while, sorry. Dogs are liking it in there. Sometimes I can just turn the gas oven and it heats the place up. Yes, so because this is going to be an internal wall, I've got rad board, and see that bit of fibre cement board? I think I'll start just by putting one big piece of fibre cement board here, and then I've got decorative fibre cement board because it's going to be internal, so it has to be sort of nice. And that's got a ridge in it, ridging in it, so it looks like it's panels. And I'll probably put that, it's only a scrap piece, but it'll probably be big enough to run all the way along the top with the ridging there. And I might put a wee timber trim, so it'll be 2 different types of fibre cement board on that wall, and then I'll just paint it. And I'll paint the outside of this door. So this is what it looks like now when they approach the house. It's the first time I've seen it, because I did it at, midnight. It's a really big door, isn't it? Does it look like it lines up? Yes, it does. Hello, it's Mrs. Quick here. We're just here door knocking. We just want to know if you had your VC. Is there anyone home? We just want to inform you, give you the information, the facts about the VC. We want to assure you that everything's good, everything's safe, and you're going to be fine. Is there anyone home? I know you're in there. We've got your details. We know you're in there. What we're going to do is we're just going to mark you down here. We're going to record you for our database as non-compliant. So you'll be hearing from us very, very soon. That is a massive tarpaulin. And inside there is wood. Right, this is the testimony part. That's sort of bits and pieces that I pulled together. I know I spent $100 on wood. Sounds good, doesn't it? And I've got all that almost free. I think I spent about $120 on all that. I've got another 5 big sheets of that fibre cement there. That was a really good price. Now, under here, it's full of timber. Dry treated timber. $300. Tarpaulin, nearly as expensive. $80 for that tarpaulin. Now, you won't believe this. This man was from Elim Church. He made him, I quizzed him about something. I said to him, I told him the names of my dogs, right? I'll get under here. I told him the names of my dogs. Because he said, are you a Christian? After about 20 minutes talking to him. And he said, when I said to him, and this one's called Tribute, who do you pay your tribute to? Do you know what he said? The church. So I sent him something about the Bible changes. Now that's like beech. It's not even Remu, it's better than Remu. All that timber, and it goes right back under that rough timber, which is right back. I loaded that. Now that was $300. So that means that I'm going to be oiling this stuff. I won't be staining it like the rustic. And look, it's dry as a bone. That's why I had to stay up all night, because the rain come. It's supposed to come at 12 o'clock. And I was saying, oh Lord, you're so good to me. I dropped Gary off home about 12, bought some chocolate, come back, had a coffee, and came out and had to unload my car because all this was in the car still. And it didn't rain until 3 o'clock, about 3. And it just started raining heavy when I put that last tarpaulin on by the house. So praise the Lord. So this is dry for the winter, bone dry. So once I close that in, once I close that porch in, I've got bone dry wood, and I don't have to, because you can't line wet wood. Now that's brand new tin over there. I don't know if you can see my door, but let's have a look. I'll probably drop my phone now. See that door? It's got those on it. But I will just find some of that beautiful wood and fix it at the back on the outside and have those on the inside. But it's got glass window at the end. It's only about a 500 door. It's like a tiny door compared to the other one. One big door, two tinies. So I'm really excited about this window that's coming. So it's 2.4. It's going to basically go, that's 3 meters from there to there. So it's going to go from there basically to the end, just with a couple of blocks on each side. And it's above, like the other ones are going to be right on the floor level. But this one has all these windows that you can open, and it's timber. It's timber, beautiful timber, Remu. And I don't even have to strip it. But I'll have it off the ground because it's coming to here. It'll probably be, because it's only about 1.5 height, it's about 1.5, but I have to make it drop to that level when I find it and come back. But it should be off the ground. I'll still do curtains right to the ground, but it will be the sort of window that the dogs can't get dirty, their licky faces on. You know, the other ones, they're going to be right up by the window, and I'll be washing them all the time. So there'll be a bit of wall. It might be a lot warmer because this is where the wind comes in. This way and this way. Yeah, I think I'm finished. Those posts go down 600 or 700. That one. And that one goes in 700. And that one goes in 700. So this is my strength here. This is my strength. Didn't really have to do that, but because it's such a thin, or so thin to drop that beam onto, I just want to make sure it's real good. Because that's right in the centre of the house. That you could fix back from that. Once I make it a bit, double it up, you can fix back. Looks perfect. You can fix back to that. Yeah, so the house is going to be from here 3 meters. This space here is about 2 meters. So it's 3 meters that way, 5 meters that way with the fireplace, which is over a metre square. And the only other thing I want to show you, I suppose, that I've been holding on to for a year, 1 year. That's my fire hearth, nice black fire hearth. And what I like about my fireplace, it's small, but it only needs to be small to heat that place. I've got it upside down, I have to fix it. You know, like it's getting rusty as anything. Look at that. Rust never sleeps, eh? But it was in good nick when I got it. So there it goes, nice glass window, you can see the flames. And it has a cast iron top, so you can cook on it. I've got 2 flues. Two complete flues. Now that bath is what I was thinking of using for my composting toilet. So that, because it's right way underground, that composting toilet, and I'll put chicken wire around it so the weakers don't go in. And I think it just drops on a piece of tin, but then it will just slide down and I can use it on my garden. But I could probably stick a hose up there and just sort of keep it sort of clean, because it's a bath at the bottom, and it saves me, I will probably concrete round that bath, but at this stage I'm going to use that bath. But I will be looking into how to make composting toilets. So because this is, see here, this is where the bath goes, right, then there's a wall and there's a wee toilet here, and then on the other side of this wall, because that'll be where my drop is, the composting toilet, so I access it here. On the other side of this wall is where my fireplace is, and you'll know that there's a bed there and a wall with a door going through there. So you got your toilet and the wee fireplace. So it's a 3 metre room, so you'll have 2 metres walking space, which is pretty reasonable, and that's my 2 metre window goes to here. I think I'm finished. So what do you think, guys? I'm very excited. I think I'm doing really well. So $600 now. The testimony is that I was getting a wee bit upset. I think about 7 people, it never happened before, completely sort of, well, I didn't get angry, but I was to buy things from them and they just kept falling through. Oh, it's sold, sorry. Oh, I just offered it to somebody else, but they hadn't seen my message that I put in the day before. And I kept losing things on Facebook, just like, you know how I said you lose things around the house, and I just know now, I just say, Lord, why can't I find this? What are you trying to show me? And that's when he showed me what the mice were doing with all the dog food. So when I failed to win all these things, I always keep my peace. I know the Lord knows what he's doing. But he saved me spending quite a lot of money. And I've used the money that I put aside for glory in case of emergencies, because the Lord said I could. I think he did. Well, I absolutely know he did now. And when I went to pay for the second $300 for wood, so it was 3 days ago, I got the $600 load delivered for free in the truck. And 2 days ago that I got the other 300, which is all the finishing wood, delivered, I picked up and just unloaded last night. And I spent a couple of $100 on little bits and pieces of materials at Mitre 10 and so forth. But I counted out my very last cent on buying that second tarpaulin. So I gave him $300, bought that second tarpaulin. So now I'm living like I normally live, and any extra money that I was getting from the pups has been put into the house. So I think I've spent easily, which is not much, $1,000 on wood, and I've probably got about $5,000 worth of wood. So praise the Lord, because I realise now I couldn't have built this without that wood turning up, because I used it. So here I was planning to build this building without the materials, and then the Lord gave me the materials. 2 days they arrived before I had to build it. Remember, I woke up and he said to me in my testimony, and I had an anointing like it was a prophetic word, put in the beams. So I did what I was told. I booked in Gary. I delayed it for a day, gave myself another day because that door took a wee while to frame out, and he could still come, and it was the day before the rain. When I picked him up, I said, the forecast is for rain at midnight. And he said, oh no, it's going to rain. And in Greymouth, it was raining yesterday when I arrived there at 9:30. Come back here, it hadn't rained. We got through the whole day. And like I said, instead of raining at 12, it was a blood moon last night, and the night before was a full blood moon. I had so much, I was just saying, thank you God. I had so much light from this moon, you know, to be out there working till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, putting all my wood out and under the tarpaulin before it rained. I could see. Got the job done. Like, there's nothing harder than what's been done now. This is the stuff I couldn't do on my own, and it's done. So now I'm independent. And I prayed about Gary yesterday morning before we started, because Gary loses his temper. He's a new Christian, got baptized down the river. But guess what? He didn't lose his temper until the very last minute. When we were doing that corner, I said, I just wonder if we got the door in and we were going to go. I just wonder if that's square. So I went and grabbed my ply. He held it, and we held it up against the doorstep, and it ends up being square with that one. Because I bought a laser level for $50 off that man. He said it's only worth 100 and something. It's Chinese. And this is the line it gave me for square. And it was wrong. This is the right line. And so that was just reassurance. And I shouldn't have done it with him. I pushed it just past his limit. And he said, right, back, tired, get out of here, you know, we've got to go, you know. And it scares me. He's scary. He doesn't realize he's actually scary when he's like that. But we prayed, and we got on so well. Oh, one time he had me laughing my head off. I forget what it was, but he's a really nice man. When we baptized him, 3 of us went down there, and also Paul was the other guy, and his family was there down the river taking video. I got a word for Gary that, well, I can't remember what it was, but it's recorded and I've uploaded it. And it was that we were going to be a team of some sort. Because he feels the glory and the buzzing in his hands like me. That's what he says. The way he prays is he prays the Lord's Prayer on the beach with his feet, with bare feet. The Lord's Prayer. He doesn't really pray anything else, just a formal Lord's Prayer. He has his own way of doing things. He's like a truther / Christian, new Christian, because he knows about everything. He's one of the truthers, and I'm praying that he doesn't get hurted. I'm praying that he's different like me. But the Lord said that the 2 of us would work together, not be together, but work together or something. That was the impression I got, and I gave it to him in the Word. And I've always wondered about it, and I thought how good it is for God to give me someone that, you know, that grates me. Like, it's like iron sharpening iron. He grates me. It's a challenge, and obviously I grate him. Here we go. Right, testimony. Thank you very much for listening. It's quite hard being just you know, when I was getting the wood and I was in the town of Kumara, you know, a few people talked to me. I had one man come up and said, oh, I quite like you. I said, I'm not available. And then another man said, oh, you must be lonely. And then, so I'm going to finish with this. I said, no, I'm not. And I honestly, when I got back to my caravan, I was thinking about it. And did you know I've been on my own here, basically for 3 years. It was exactly this time last year that I was arriving here in down that hill on the other side of that hill, at a place that I called the Glory Shed. And I had a stint of 5 months back in Christchurch. But basically for 3 years I've been on my own, and that is a miracle, because I'm honest, not once have I felt lonely. And the way the Lord made me is I'm an extrovert, and I always need people around me, and I was always very unsettled when I was on my own. I really was. If my parents left me on my own in the house, which is back in those days they did when you're a kid, I felt unsettled and I used to run around trying to clean up, but I didn't clean up properly. I just threw things in the wardrobe and under the bed. And then I used to walk around the house like I was trying to sell it. That's what I do to keep busy when they're away. Or if I come home from school, my mum's not there, she's working, I used to eat Weet-Bix, and I was like a binge eater of Weet-Bix, and it was comfort food because I felt anxious being on my own. I didn't realise I was anxious, but now I know eating comfort food it's relieved the anxiety. Now, as soon as I hit 13, I had a boyfriend, and I never ever stopped. It never let up. I had less than 6 months single, and then I was keeping about 3 or 4 men on the run before I was saved. Mostly I was in long-term relationships, which means 1 to 2 years. When I got saved, the Lord put it on my heart to, of course, never divorce, and to love unconditionally and all that. So I would never have divorced my first husband. He divorced me. And the Lord asked me to leave my second husband, but we're not divorced, and I will never get divorced. I'll rip the papers up. I'll sit here and I'll hide, but he will never send them. But if he did send them, I wouldn't open the door. If I did have to, because he left them, I'd rip them up. Told him I would. Talked him out of going to a lawyer. Now, don't take your brother or your sister to court. It says it in the Bible. Don't do it. So I did get a lovely witness when I got all that beautiful